Ah, freedom lights. Finally, a cigarette that's not gonna hurt me. It's like smoking sunshine. Low tar, low nicotine. Just kidding. How many of you smoke lights or ultralights? And if you do, how many of you think maybe that makes it safer? You might know it's not like eating broccoli, but most people who smoke lights think it's not as harmful. If you go to the internet and you look up light cigarettes, you might find the National Cancer Institute. That's a federal agency that studies cancer. And if you look in there and you look at light cigarettes, they say that Big Tobacco produced and created light cigarettes to reassure people that it was safe. Remember those medical reports coming out saying smoking might kill people, so they put a filter on to reassure people the filter would take out the tar, but I already showed you that didn't work. Then they came out with another idea. What if they take a filtered cigarette and they make that cigarette light? Well, women like that idea, and it was the women really getting afraid of smoking. So by creating a light cigarette, they were able to advertise and promote smoking in a way that was probably thought to be less harmful. To make a light cigarette, they just poke extra holes in the filter paper. That's called dilution. Those little pinholes are called filter vents, and when you light a cigarette and take a drag, if it's a light cigarette, the extra little holes give you extra air and it dilutes the smoke. I have to kind of think of it like coffee. I like to stop sometimes and get a good cup of coffee, and when I go in, I'm not tough enough to say, hey, give me 2 shots of espresso, and I down them at the counter. I say, shoot a couple of shots, drop it in some hot chocolate, and call it a mocha. It dilutes it down. I still get my 2 shots, but I have to drink 16 ounces of hot chocolate to get it. That's what you do when you smoke a light. The extra air filters the smoke, and you have to smoke more to get your shots of nicotine. Big Tobacco produced and created light cigarettes to reassure people that it was safe. The way they measured this was they stuck a cigarette on the end of a smoking machine, and they allowed the machine to inhale, and then they measured how much tar and nicotine went through. The problem with that is people don't smoke like machines, people smoke like drug addicts, and they need to get their hit of nicotine. So it's called compensation smoking. And compensation smoking happens when a smoker needs a hit of nicotine. They hold the cigarette in a way where their fingers actually often cover up the little pinholes, or their lips cover up the pinholes, and they inhale deeper and more often, and they smoke more cigarettes per day. So the problem? The problem is light smokers usually smoke more, get more tar, have increased diseases because of the increased tar load. And you know, the tobacco company, they know all this. There's no evidence that there's any benefit in someone smoking light cigarettes, and there's no evidence that there's any benefit in helping them quit.